Danielle Wilson from MostlySewing.com. I wanted to do a little kitchen tour today because my husband and I have been very excited about how we have it organized, all our cabinets and everything. So I know it's in the background of a lot of our videos and pictures and Instagrams and things, but I don't think you've seen the whole thing officially. We've actually lived in this house for almost 6 years. We're demoing some of the bedrooms, and I just felt like I haven't documented enough of my house at our time here. So I thought I'd start with the kitchen. First of all, obviously it's like all oak cabinets and this brown granite. So not particularly my style, but it was done like this when we moved in, which is kind of unusual for New Jersey in like your starter homes. There's not many that already have a finished kitchen. They're usually like 30-year-old kitchens that look terrible and are going to be very expensive to replace. So that's part of the reason we bought the house, because we knew we don't have to worry about the kitchen. Someday, probably over a year from now, I would paint the cabinets white at least. Overall, we like it. It's very functional. It's definitely from Home Depot, because everything that the previous owner built himself was from Home Depot. Finishes aren't my style, etc. But we're very thankful for the space we have. It's huge. We looked at sort of how it must have been laid out originally, and I believe the kitchen was like half this size, so we're thankful for the work that they did to give us all this space, which makes it really easy to cook in. We have wood floors. I don't know if I recommend them for kitchens. They look great, just a lot of wear and tear on them, and especially with the dog and the wet feet and when they're potty training and stuff, it just doesn't hold up the way that you would do with tiles. So while I love wood floors throughout the house in general, I would say that tile is better for your kitchen. Yeah, so let me give you a little walk around. So this is the view right when you walk in. Here's our fridge. I found this magnetic Scrabble board, so Eric started playing. I have to play with him. I put my aprons on this hook. Meal plan, tricks for Lucy, trash, recycling. This is this side. I have the dishwasher running because we were eating this morning, obviously. Okay, here's the space I was in front of before. Sorry for the dishwasher sounds in the background. This is Lucy's area for eating. My coffee cart, which I have a blog post about. We spray painted it gold. This door actually leads into the spare room, which will probably be the baby room. So we're demoing that room as we speak later today. And we haven't decided if we'll leave this a door or if we will close it up and make it a real wall. So it's kind of weird to have the pass through, but we put the frosted glass because now we use it as a bedroom or like our spare room, so people need to not see in. It's my cool coffee poster looking into our backyard, and that's our deck and our grill. Lucy's crate. She's a large dog and she likes to spread out. And this is how I set this up recently, which I really like. Our toaster used to be in this awkward corner, and Eric really likes making toast, so he was always squishing himself back there. So I put it out here with our little bread bin and our coffee maker, and then it's set up really nicely for when we have community group and people over, because then I was moving everything from my coffee cart and putting it over on the counter, which just seemed like a waste of time. So we're happy with this setup, less moving things. And then I put Lucy supplies in the basket and the drawer at the bottom. Sorry for all the lighting changes. This is my phone, the best I can do. So over in this corner, this is where I had the toaster hiding. And like the fridge isn't counter depth, so it doesn't quite fit. So you kind of just squish back here. But I leave these out because they're like most used appliances and they're hard to get in and out of cabinets. So I just leave them on the counter, and then they're kind of out of the way because we can't go back there too often anyway. So I just pull them out when I need them and put them back over there when they're clean. Okay, so let me address this station. I listened to this podcast, The Allison Show, and she had
a guest on it, the owner of Headley and Bennett, who makes the aprons for like Food Network and stuff. And she was talking about how to get yourself to cook more. So she suggested, you always have the cutting board out and then your principal flavors. So you leave the salt out and you just need a pepper grinder because pre-ground pepper is basically flavorless. And then you've got olive oil or like I have grapeseed oil because that has a higher burning temperature or whatever. Balsamic vinegar, and then like your lemons and stuff. So you keep all the components of flavor out. And so it really does make it super easy to like roast vegetables and things. And switching this up has literally made us more likely to cook because we just have our ingredients right out and it's easier to do. And you keep just like your supplies here. I organized the straw really nicely. Got all these from the dollar store. All the bins are from the dollar store. I have a lemon squeezer that normally goes here. So that's why those are empty. Anyway, all my little measuring cups. These are the ones I use the most often. All my teaspoons. So I just keep everything super organized in here and everything has a place. And honestly, it makes cleaning up super easy because everything has a place. And then it makes you more likely to cook because you know where everything is. Okay, my pantry is not super organized at all, but I'll show you. So these are like my baking supplies. I kind of line them up neatly, to be honest, just for this, but they're usually squished around. I don't bake a ton because I try to be gluten-free-ish. I usually pull it on the weekends. Then this is my other stuff. I've greatly reduced the number of pasta boxes that we use because of being semi-paleo. Again, I try to stock up on sauces for simmer sauce, snack bin, other miscellaneous things. So that's my pantry. Eric buys a lot of jelly. And I'm going to make gnocchi sometime. I just keep forgetting. So we're pretty proud of this cabinet, and let me explain why. So when I started setting up the Bennett station, as Allison of the Allison Show calls it, I stood in my kitchen for an hour and tried to figure out how to make it more efficient because we don't cook a ton. I felt like I was sprinting all over the place trying to find what I needed. So I thought really hard about where things needed to go in relation to the oven. So I put, doesn't always make sense, but it works, all my baking sheets and my pots and some random things in there. So they're right here when I need to grab them. Like I used to store the baking sheets on top of the fridge, couldn't really reach them. Used to store the pots in that thing over there. It's still difficult to reach. So everything was complicated. So now that they're in here, I definitely grab them more. I need to get one of those stand-up things so that they're not leaning against each other so much because it's just, I make a mess when I pull them out. But it's far more functional. So switch the way that we use this one. So my frying pan, see, I have one of these. I need like 3 of them. My frying pans are all stacked in here neatly. Lids, big lids are over here. So I need more of these to store everything. Everything's just leaning. But we really do cook more when things are this easily accessible and organized. And it makes cleanup a lot easier. Okay, over here in this cabinet, I always make my oven mitts accessible. Yeah, I changed how I do this too. So I put all my mixing bowls over here. Some of them are in the wash. So again, it's just really easy to grab. Everything was really in those Lazy Susan areas and it was not easy to get to. And so I was less likely to cook because everything was like a burden. I put my cookbooks in here. I used to store them down here, put them up here because I just really like my counters clean. I like being able to wipe them clean. I really primarily stick to the Whole30 cookbooks. Like I've been doing a lot of Meals Made Simple. Love it. Really actually simple. And a lot of Against All Grain. And then for the most part when I cook paleo. And then these are my hand towels for like, they're all Williams Sonoma and West Elm. So they're nice and I use them only for drying my hands. In contrast with this bin, which is all my, paper towel replacements. So I have like IKEA towels and things that I use to replace my paper towels. I don't use these as much as I thought I would. I can pretty much use them to scrub in the sink a little bit, but they're not like absorbent. So I don't use them as paper towels as much as I thought I would. This, I'm so happy with. These are all my lids. for everything, obviously for storage. All my Pyrex, everything is in here. And then this is obviously silverware for making my water and my smoothies every morning, jar stuff. Again, I get all these little tins from the dollar store. Sink. This is where I store all the containers. Nothing gets put on the top shelf because I am too short. Really, anything on this third shelf is too tall for me, although I can reach it. So I try to put like most used stuff down here and go up slowly. Then I have this corner cabinet, which is most of my water bottles and my jars. So there were only a few jars when I started, but now that I'm saving like all my glass jars, there's quite a few more. And then a couple more lids here. Just that didn't fit in the other place, and I primarily use them for mason jars. I don't know what's going on up there. Okay, over here we have cutting boards. When I did Whole30 for the first time a couple years ago, they suggested buying a bunch of cutting boards because you're cooking all the time, so I did. And then random grill supplies, and then these are so that the cutting boards don't slip around. This is not the best spot for these, but it's where they are for now. That must be some kind of thermometer. I don't know. Grill supplies again. This is the only cabinet that doesn't have that divider. So I put my big appliances down here that I use less often. I pull the KitchenAid out probably once a week. The bread machine I go on spurts with when I use it. I used to store a lot of appliances down here, but it's really just difficult to reach in and pull them out. So now it's kind of a catch-all. My immersion blender, my hand blender, Dutch oven. So we have a lot of storage that we don't necessarily use because it's not super convenient. And these are my dishes. Nothing too exciting here except that the dishwasher is full of glasses, obviously. This is my Fiestaware. I don't know, when I was registering for Fiestaware, I saw like a promo photo that just had the navy, aqua, and cream color packs, and I really liked how those look together. And then they conveniently match these glasses that we got in Israel, or other way around. We bought these and then we bought these in Israel, so now they match. So I like them. Lucy says hello. I don't store anything in this cabinet because it's very difficult to reach over the island when the doors are open. So I don't put anything in there. And again, nothing on the top shelf because I can't reach it. One more thing about this lamp, chandelier. I got it made in the shade. My mom just reminded me that I should probably put some decorative bulbs in there instead of these. But it's pretty cool. This used to have one of those Tiffany style lamps with a ceiling fan, and it was hung pretty low, and Eric would hit his head on it constantly. So we finally got this, hung it pretty high, and I like how it looks. I have random seasonal things in these cabinets up here, but for the most part they're empty. Okay, so as you can see, I don't use all of the storage in the cabinets just because I'm short. Also because I've become pretty minimalist in what I own. So I got rid of a ton of things, and I'm pretty careful about what I buy so they don't just accumulate random kitchen supplies. There's a couple cabinets I didn't show you because they were pretty basic, like cleaning supplies and things I can't reach. So I don't know what's up there, but sometimes Eric hides appliances in cabinets. Like we have a meat slicer. I think that's above the fridge somewhere. That's our kitchen currently as of 2020. Just so I remember where and when I recorded this. It's, I think, the 8th week of quarantine, first week of May. I'm 18 weeks pregnant. So I went to Lowe's and look what they had. More of these. So I stood up my baking sheets really nice. Then over here I have all my lids. Got my pans here. All nice and organized. Ignore the stuff behind it. We have an ice cube maker, so I don't know what the trays were ever for.